What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video from the 10-7 MMA channel, and this is going to be a quick recap of the UFC 316 press conference. And the reason why it's going to be so quick is because I'm highly disappointed. I said this on a video that I made yesterday, which barely got any views, so you guys probably didn't see it. I thought it was a great topic, but I made a video talking about this fight between Kayla Harrison and Julianna Peña, which is the one fight on the card that I feel like has some real heat to it. Actually, there is some heat, a little bit of heat between O'Malley and Rob. It's just not nearly as heated as last time. They had a little tiny bit of exchange, but overall, the press conference was fairly lackluster, which I would have anticipated. That has been the protocol as of late. That has been what we've come to expect from UFC press conferences as of late, sadly, unfortunately. And there's so much potential there to build anticipation for the fights, but it seems to be largely unused, that potential. Now, I said yesterday that we have an opportunity, a massive opportunity to get something really going here between Kayla Harrison and Julianna Peña, two people that have done a great job, I feel like, in the build-up to whatever extent they've been interviewed and whatnot, because Julianna Peña is such a perfect villain. That was the title of my video yesterday. She is literally a perfect villain because I think she's somebody that fans love to hate. I gave some reasons why in terms of her personality. And again, I'm not saying she's a bad person or a person that should be hated. I've never met her, and maybe she's a great friend and all these other things. But I'm saying from the outside, I think she tends to rub people the wrong way just by nature of the way she likes to talk, the constant talking that she does. And on top of that, especially with Kayla Harrison, who's so beloved and has become more beloved because of this perfect villain dynamic. But that being said, going back to the press conference, there were barely any questions really prodding the two on. I think at one point they asked Kayla something. She started talking and she gave this explanation. And then Julianna said, hey, well, what are you going to do to beat me? You're going to just lay on top of me for 3 rounds and that's not going to work. And then Kayla fired back with, well, how are you going to beat me, period? You're saying the one way I can beat you. How are you ever going to beat me? There's no shot here. And it was great. It was starting to get interesting. And then nobody really followed up on that. This leads me to the question, and I'm wondering if you guys are wondering this as well. Do you think that the UFC is asking reporters ahead of time for the questions, vetting the questions, and making sure they're diversified? Because in my opinion, I would have loved to have seen the entire press conference, more like or 70 or 80% of it, focused on allowing those two to go back and forth. Maybe they didn't want to go back and forth, and maybe that's why they didn't fully engage or really go at it. But I just don't understand this missed opportunity for more questions in the one legitimate beef on stage, because that would have been really fun. So anyways, that's my 2 cents. That's my takeaway from this press conference. It was underwhelming, but that being said, most of the pressers as of late have kind of been underwhelming, and I'm not sure if I don't know why that's happening. Is it almost by design so they don't want as many beefs? I'm not really sure, because I feel like that was the perfect opportunity. Anyways, that's it. We're not even going to show any clips. There was really nothing to speak of, and it was very short as well. One interesting little tidbit, somebody did add this. I was shocked. And this makes me think that they don't vet questions, because I'm shocked that the UFC would want a question like this. But they said, hey, there's a petition with 170,000 signatures to strip Jon Jones. Do you think that he's finally going to be stripped? And Dana White wasn't there. Jon Anik answered, and he said, you know what? I think that no official announcement or statement as of yet, but he's like, I think this fight's going to go down in December. And he's like, I think even if they strip Jon Jones, he's not going to care, but he's still going to come back and fight Tom Aspinall. Who knows? I mean, Jon Anik actually may have some inside information. He just maybe said that to escape any potential anger or liability from the UFC for spilling the beans. But I don't know. It makes me feel relatively optimistic that the fight is actually happening, and maybe it will happen in December. I was thinking November, as a lot of people were, for Madison Square Garden, but we shall see. So that was one other little interesting tidbit from the fight. But overall, that's my thoughts. Didn't think the presser was anything crazy, but that's mostly par for the course. Big missed opportunity, in my opinion, but it is what it is. Why that happened? Is that a product of the journalists not asking the right questions? Is that a product of the UFC maybe managing the comments or the questions, so that they're a bit diversified in terms of what fighters are getting asked what? I don't know, maybe some combination thereof. But that's my 2 cents. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you agree? Did you disagree? Did you actually enjoy it? Thank you guys so much for joining. We'll see you in the next video. Take it easy.